Welcome to our series, Fine Poetry. Poems that touch deeper chords. Today, part 2 of Richard Wilbur. April 5th, 1974. The air was soft, the ground still cold. In the dull pasture where I strolled was something I could not believe. Dead grass appeared to slide and heave, though still too frozen flat to stir, and rocks to twitch, and all to blur. What was this rippling of the land? Was matter getting out of hand, and making free with natural law? I stopped and blinked, and then I saw a fact as eerie as a dream. There was a subtle flood of steam moving upon the face of things. It came from standing pools and springs. And what of snow was still around? It came of winters giving ground, so that the freeze was coming out. As when a set mind, blessed by doubt, relaxes into mother wit. Flowers, I said, will come of it. Sonnet from Collected Poems, 1943-2004. The winter deepening, the hay all in, the barn fat with cattle, the apple crop conveyed to market, or the fragrant bin. He thinks the time has come to make a stop, and sinks, half grudging, in his firelit seat. Though with his heavy body's full consent, in what would be the posture of defeat, but for that look of rigorous content. Outside, the night dives down like one great crow against his cast-off clothing, where it stands, up to the knees in miles of hustled snow, flapping and jumping like a kind of fire, and floating skyward its abandoned hands in gestures of invincible desire. Year's End. Now winter downs the dying of the year, and night is all a settlement of snow. From the soft street the rooms of houses show a gathered light, a shapen atmosphere, like frozen over lakes whose ice is thin and still allows some stirring down within. I've known the wind by water banks to shake the late leaves down, which frozen where they fell, and held in ice as dancers in a spell, fluttered all winter long into a lake, graved on the dark in gestures of dissent. They seemed their own most perfect monument. There was perfection in the death of ferns, which laid their fragile cheeks against the stone 1,000,000 years. Great mammoths overthrown composedly have made their long sojourns, like palaces of patience in the gray and changeless lands of ice. And at Pompeii, the little dog lay curled and did not rise, but slept the deeper as the ashes rose, and found the people incomplete, and froze the random hands, the loose, unready eyes, of men expecting yet another son to do the shapely thing they had not done. These sudden ends of time must give us pause. We fray into the future, rarely wrought, save in the tapestries of afterthought. More time, more time. Barrages of applause come muffled from a buried radio. The New Year bells are wrangling with the snow. June light. Your voice, with clear location of June days, called me outside the window. You were there, light yet composed, as in the just soft stare of uncontested summer. All things raise plainly their seeming into seamless air. Then your love looked as simple and entire as that picked pear you tossed to me, and your face as legible as pear skin's fleck and trace, which promise always wine by mottled fire, more fatal-fleshed than ever human grace. And your gay gift, oh, when I saw it fall into my hands through all that naive light, it seemed as blessed with truth and new delight as must have been the first great gift of all. A prayer to go to heaven with the donkeys. When I must come to you, O my God, I pray it be some dusty-roaded holiday, and even as in my travels here below, I beg to choose by what road I shall go to paradise, where the clear stars shine by day. I'd take my walking stick and go my way. And to my friends, the donkeys, I shall say, I am Francis James, and I am going to paradise, for there is no hell in the land of the loving God. And I'll say to them, come, sweet friends of the blue skies, poor creatures who with a flap of the ears or a nod of the head shake off the buffets, the bees, the flies. Let me come with these donkeys, Lord, into your land. These beasts who bow their heads so gently and stand with their small feet joined together in a fashion utterly gentle, asking your compassion. I shall arrive, followed by their thousands of ears, followed by those with baskets at their flanks, by those who lug the carts of mountebanks, or loads of feather dusters and kitchenwares, by those with humps of battered water cans, by bottle-shaped she-asses who halt and stumble, by those tricked out in little pantaloons to cover their wet blue galls, where flies assemble in whirling swarms, making a drunken hum. Dear God, let it be with these donkeys that I come, and let it be that angels lead us in peace to leafy streams where cherries tremble in air, sleek as the laughing flesh of girls. And there, in that haven of souls, let it be that, leaning above your divine waters, I shall resemble these donkeys, whose humble and sweet poverty will appear clear in the clearness of your eternal love. Do the Etruscan poets dream fluently, still brothers, who when young took with your mother's milk the mother's tongue, in which pure matrix, joining world and mind, you strove to leave some line of verse behind, like still fresh tracks across a field of snow, not reckoning that all could melt and go. And lastly, two voices in a meadow, a milkweed, anonymous as cherubs over the crib of God. White seeds are floating out of my burst pod. What power had I before I learned to yield? Shatter me, great wind, I shall possess the field. A stone, as casual as cow dung, under the crib of God. I lie where chance would have me, up to the ears in sod. Why should I move? To move befits a light desire. The sill of heaven would founder, did such as I aspire.